All right, let's take a look at these exterior details first. So this is the SE Nightshade, which is the blacked out version of the Camry, and there are some mild changes for 2021 that we'll go over pretty soon. So starting right up front, one of the changes is a subtle revision to the lower fascia here, and even this SE Nightshade is completely blacked out up front. You'll see black fenders, black grille, kind of that mesh look. Everything is blacked out, and Toyota actually gives you LED headlights standard, but you got an incandescent turn signal. These are not the same LEDs that you'll get on some models. And on this Nightshade, this is the midnight black metallic paired with the black wheels. What do y'all think of it? It's got a little bit of a sheen to it, definitely blacked out pretty much all around on this Camry. So this Nightshade gives you exclusively black 18-inch wheels. It'd be cool if that caliper could be painted. That would look pretty nice, but they're 18-inch with 235/45 series tires. They look good with this black Camry. Unlike the XSE or XLE, you won't get anything fancy with the mirrors, but they are blacked out again with this Nightshade. There's no dimming and no blind spot indicator in here, but that is optional. And then coming out, some Camrys have a little bit of a fancier chrome design on the side, but you've even got black window moldings. That lower rocker panel at the bottom is black as well, so completely blacked out everywhere. And I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. And dimensionally, the Camry's 192.7 inches long, so it's a little on the long side for this, but still a little smaller than the Avalon. And we get a sport tuned suspension with this particular SE Nightshade. And out back, you even get a black spoiler and LED combination lights, even though you've still got that incandescent turn signal. But look below, you've got a double tipped exhaust and a nice looking diffuser. Now as we move to the trunk, we don't have the smart key, so there's no touchpad. But if I press and hold, the trunk actually opens up all the way by itself, which is pretty nice. The hinges are exposed, so be sure to watch out for that. And you do have pull tabs, so you have a 40-60 split if you want to fold the seats down. There is a little bit of a crunch in there, but overall this is about 15 cubic feet, which isn't bad for a sedan, and it definitely swallows up suitcases and bags pretty well. And if you want, you can get a cargo net. You've got a little hook right there or right here. I actually sling my grocery bags on there, and that works just fine. And then underneath here, you get a spare tire standard, which is nice to see. Now taking a look at the front seats in the Camry, there's some things that I like and some things that I don't like. First of all, this is Softex material. So this is synthetic leather. It's not real leather, but it looks nice, it feels nice, and it's simple and easy to maintain. These are 8-way power adjustable seats with just 2-way lumbar support. And I would have to say my biggest complaint is that this headrest actually sits and leans kind of far forward, so it can be a little bit intrusive. Now at 5'9", myself sitting in here, I've got good headroom and I don't even have the seat all the way down. But like I said, I have to lean the seat back a little bit to be comfortable because this headrest is intrusive and you can't move it back. But otherwise, the rest of the seat is pretty comfortable. And in this Nightshade, you won't find any heating or ventilation. You'd have to move up in trim to get ventilation. But the SE trim actually offers heating, but this SE Nightshade doesn't. So that's a bummer. As we move to the back seat of this Camry is pretty spacious, and you get the same synthetic Softex material. Legroom is good for this class of a car. Let's go ahead and hop in. Now over on the door, Toyota cheaped out a little bit with this material back here as opposed to the front. It's not as nice and soft. But you got a soft armrest, good grab handle, and a couple bottle holders. Then sitting behind myself at 5'9", you can see just how much legroom and footroom I have. And this is pretty good, especially for a sedan. You do have a hump in the middle. And I'm not sure if that's just because of the all-wheel drive or not, but there is a hump, but good space overall. You'll notice that we don't have air conditioning vents or charging ports back here. You can get those on other trim levels, but not in the SE Nightshade. Plus, in the middle, you get a folding center armrest with some cushion, cup holders. And then sitting up tall, not every car has a tall enough roof to be able to sit in, but at 5'9", I can fit in here just fine, good with headroom. Now as we hop inside, first of all, you don't get the smart key on here. You can get it optional, but we have just the regular key fob. So we don't have remote start, we don't have the touch sensors on the door or anything like that. Now starting over at the door, Toyota does give you some softer material up above paired with this trim piece and a somewhat soft armrest, nothing super soft or padded. All of these windows are automatic one touch. And then does my bottle fit? It does, kind of crooked, but it fits. Then just to the inside, you got your automatic high beam, traction control, trunk opener, and fuel door. Plus there is a little storage cubby right down here. The steering wheel is leather wrapped on this SE Nightshade. It's comfortable. It's a comfortable leather. You've got good grips up above. This is the newest style of the steering wheel. It doesn't have the cruise control stock down here, and it is manual tilt and telescoping, and it's got a pretty good range of motion. Right in front of us, Toyota gives you a couple of big physical gauges, similar to what you've seen in the last couple of years. Nothing changes up here. And then right in the middle, a 4.2-inch screen is standard, but this 7-inch screen is optional. So with this display, there's quite a bit that you can see, anywhere from your trip computer information all the way to your driver assist information. You can customize what you see, tire pressure on here. So there's a lot of helpful information and a bunch of different settings that are customizable. You can even change the way the display looks. In this SE Nightshade, you also get a softer dash up here, and this is where the biggest change on the interior comes. So if you saw before, the screen was kind of set into the dash, and now they have the tablet style like we've been seeing in some of their other products. So I'd love to know what you guys think of that. The swoop is the same, pretty much everything else is the same except that screen. And a 7-inch screen is standard, which is what we have, but you can get a 9-inch screen now on upper trims. In fact, the 9-inch screen is available on the SE, but not the SE Nightshade. And Toyota keeps all of their physical buttons. This is your home screen. You can customize the home screen and have different objects in each box. I like how you do have shortcuts to different stuff, but I'd love to hear your feedback on that. You get a volume knob and a tuning knob still, so pretty much all the buttons that are starting to go away in a lot of cars. We just get the base 6-speaker system. It doesn't really sound all that great. Obviously you can still customize, you know, the treble, mid, and bass and things like that, but be sure to plug your headphones in and let's take a listen to it. Now Toyota gives you Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and Amazon Alexa standard. Like I said, small screen, same interface that you'll see on anything else. Let's go ahead and put it in reverse. And another disappointing factor is that this screen is pretty outdated looking and there's no dynamic lines. So when you turn the wheel, nothing happens. You can get that on the SE, but not on this SE Nightshade. And this is a touchscreen, and there's a lot of different settings you can customize on here, vehicle specific or display specific as well. And coming down just below, one thing that I don't like, and you might be able to see it a little bit on the camera, is that this piano black collects a lot of fingerprints and dust, and it's easily scratched. So it looks kind of cheap up here in my opinion. Couple AC vents, and then single zone automatic climate control. No dual zone in here, just the single zone. Dual zone is on some upper trims. Just below that we have our USB charging port, which is also your Apple CarPlay Android Auto port, 12-volt power outlet. And then this pad right here can be a wireless charging pad. We don't have that on this Nightshade, but below that you've got a little storage bin. So it's kind of a 2-tiered storage area, or a grippy little section to set your phone. And then moving back, cup holders are good size. My large bottle fits. They've got accommodation rings so you can have smaller drinks too. You do have a brake hold button. Press that, let off the brake, and it will hold you in place, and an electronic parking brake that actually automatically turns on. So I just put it in park, and you can see the parking brake is on automatically. The armrest is large and soft. It's actually really long and it goes quite a ways. So if you want to rest your elbow on here and the steering wheel, you can definitely do that. It doesn't move up and down, but you lift it up and you've got a couple of USB charging ports, a soft liner in there, and it's pretty good size overall. Our model does not have the automatic dimming rearview mirror. It's just the manual flip mirror. No garage controls either, but those are optional on this Nightshade. Up above, we've got LED interior lighting and a large sunglass holder. All right, let's get going on this test drive in this Camry. So in this test drive, I just want to give you the idea of what it's like to drive the Camry. We'll talk about who this is probably for, ride comfort, acceleration, driving it on a day-to-day basis. Let's go ahead and get into it. So with this looking camera, the SE Nightshade, you might expect, you know, some power, some more fun out of it, but that's not what this is really all about. This is still mainly about efficiency and practicality as far as that goes. If you want speed, go for the TRD with the V6. But let me give you a little look at this. Just in normal mode, we have all-wheel drive. And the biggest thing about the Camry is it still has a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, whereas opposed to a turbo, there's a big difference in the way they feel. You could tell that this gets the RPMs up, makes quite a bit of noise, whereas turbos, you get power out pretty quick and pretty early. But as far as the way it feels, the steering isn't super lightweight. It's not completely false feeling and lightweight, but it's not real heavy either. It's just a comfortable daily type of feel with the steering wheel, and this leather wrapped wheel is comfortable to hang on to as well. As far as handling goes, the Camry is not a stunner by any means, but for this class of a car, it does well. We'll get on some corners in a little bit so you can get an idea about that. But like I said with the steering, some cars you almost feel like you have to guess a little bit where you're gonna point the wheel and move the car, but it's pretty dialed in with this Camry. It's definitely not too bad. And as we get on the brakes for the Camry, the brake pedal does feel a little bit soft right off the bat, but I haven't had any troubles stopping or slowing down with this. Now, this doesn't have a dedicated sport mode button, but you can move the shifter over into S, and that's technically like a sport mode. All right, all-wheel drive. So there were some semi-hard shifts right there, probably because we were in sport mode technically, but this 8-speed transmission for the most part has been smooth, but there have been a few clunks, especially at low speeds, kind of like I complained about with the Highlander. But this Camry has technically a sport tuned suspension, and it was actually fairly flat going around that corner. You know, it's not race car flat, it's not like the Supra, but for most of you that are going to buy this, you'll be happy with the way that it handles, I would say. And let's actually use these paddles. So I moved it over to the S mode again. You can use the paddles at any time, but downshift. And this is floored right now. Paddles are actually fairly responsive, so you can have a little bit of fun with that. And another thing is that this has the Toyota Safety Sense Plus 2.5. So it's advanced in pretty much every aspect. The radar cruise. Thought that car was going to clip me. The lane keeping system, lane centering, the bicycle detection, things like that. But obviously we're going straight. Let me kind of veer over a little bit and it will correct me and turn itself. So I have a demonstration on the Lexus Safety System Plus, but the 2.0 model. But if you want to see that, I'll put a link in the description below that goes over all the details. But this has done a nice job keeping you in your lane, distance between the car in front of you. The lane centering can almost feel like it fights with you a little bit, but you can turn that off real easily on the steering wheel. And as far as ergonomics, day-to-day basis, I like the armrest, I like the controls. Everything is just pretty easily laid out. The screen height is high to where you have good visibility with that. I don't really like the style of it compared to last generation or the last year model, but everything is in an easy-to-use place, and it's just a fairly practical interior to live with. And one note, coming to a stop, we don't have auto stop start, which is kind of nice, so you don't have to worry about that. And now getting onto a rougher textured road, one thing I will say is that this is quieter than the last generation Camry, but it's definitely still not as quiet as, you know, the Highlander or some Lexus models. But I have not yet taken my decibel ratings, but I will put those down below. We have an acoustic windshield to help with wind noise, but the side glass is not acoustic or laminated. So you get a little bit of wind noise, you get a little bit of road noise depending on your speed and road surface. But let's go ahead and wrap things up on this Camry. So to wrap things up on this 2021 Camry SE Nightshade, first I got to apologize. Several of my clips recording, like the engine, my intro and outro, were lost. I don't know what happened, but to wrap up on this Camry, it's the sporty looking Camry, but it's not the sporty driving or the best value sporty Camry either. You can go for the regular SE and still get more available features and get some different paints and still look good too. Or you can go for the TRD and actually get a lower Camry, an aggressive driving Camry, and the V6. So the SE Nightshade is basically just an appearance package. So if that's what you want, go for it. Otherwise, let me know what you think down below. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.